Warning: the following segment may contain spoilers for the most recent Transformers comic books. So this week we'll be talking about the final issue of Rage of the Dinobots. But first, here's Amy with the comics news.
Hello, I'm back again with some more Transformers news in my car. And yes, I probably will do this every week because, hey, I'm a busy woman and that's how it goes. So, first up on the news this week is that John Paul Beauvais is having a birthday this Saturday. So if you see him on Twitter or at a convention or even on Facebook or on his DeviantArt page, just send him out a happy hello. This last week we had a little bit of a comic leak. Robots in Disguise issue number 14 was released on Tuesday early because, hey, it's not even been put out yet, right? And you could buy it for $1.99 on iBooks, which, if you got lucky and you got it, you got it. I just wanted to put out here that if you got it, don't spoil it for everybody else. You know, it's a good issue. You might want to, rethink that. But other than that, we will review it, of course, when it comes out. Also, don't forget to check the Facebook page, the Transformers Facebook page, for commentary and other reveals, because they put a lot of stuff up there. Just have to put it out there every single day to give a little bit of reminder out there. But also, DeviantArt has other goodies as well. Alex Milne put More Than Meets the Eye issue number 17, the cover, out on his DeviantArt page, so you can check that. And last, and certainly not least, is the May solicits. So, our first solicit is Robots in Disguise issue number 17. And it's got a Shockwave on it, drawn and colored by Livio Ramondelli. So my first instinct is to say that this is probably going to go back to the Orion Pax Shockwave thread. And that's exactly what it says in the blurb. So, Shockwaves, the fate of Cybertron is sealed, but what is the Decepticon scientist called Shockwave planning? After the stunning revelations in More Than Meets the Eye, okay, haven't gotten those yet, but I guess we will, in April. Learn the origin of the one-eyed, gun-handed master of machinations. And the countdown begins for the biggest Transformers event in comic book history. Okay, we got another event. It's called Shock Point. And Phil Jimenez will be giving us a variant cover. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Looking forward to reading that. More Than Meets the Eye issue number 17 will also be out in May. And we have 2 covers teased for that one. And they feature a lot of the 1984 legislator big bot thingies that we saw in the issue with Skids when he was first introduced. They were following after him. Well, there's a whole lot of them on these covers. So my guess is we're probably going to get to know more about Skids, possibly. But yes, Remain in Light, More Than Meets the Eye's first full-blown epic moves into high gear as Rodimus leads his crew to the gates of heaven or hell. But larger forces are closing in, and an ancient plan is reaching fruition. And as an old friend calls time on the Autobots' quest, one thing becomes clear: the legislators are on the march. Okay, so we can get that from the covers. And definitely looking forward to it. So, we also have gotten a reveal. Our next Spotlight will be Spotlight Hoist. And we have 2 covers for that. We've got one from Clayton Crane, I believe. And the other one is by Livio Ramondelli, and it's Hoist. So, what are we going to read about for Hoist? It's a face-off. Hoist has always managed to fade into the background until now. Trapped on an alien planet with a narcissist, half a scientist, and a creature that may or may not turn into a catapult, the Lost Light's mild-mannered maintenance engineer must confront the 5 most dangerous Decepticons ever. Well, let's see. Who do we know that happens to be the 5 most dangerous Decepticons ever? Maybe somebody in the DJD, I don't know. I'm guessing here. I'm putting it out here. I'm going to call it. It's got to be the DJD, because they're pretty dangerous. So we'll see how that goes. It is a one-shot, so you never know. It could be them, or I guess it could be other so I guess I could be wrong as well. But I'm looking forward, in a positive way, even though it kind of has negative consequences, to see more of the DJD because they were so much fun. So, yeah. We'll also be getting Spotlight, Beast Hunter Spotlight. I'm thrilled that Marigrid Scott and Mike Johnson will be writing more Transformers Prime, because I kind of liked Rage of the Dinobots. Thought it was pretty cool. So, Beast Hunters, yeah, enter Beast Hunters. That's what we're going to be getting in May. And they have 3 covers that they're teasing. They look fantastic. Beast Hunters. They were there when Cybertron fell, but what happened to the Dinobots for the past few thousand years? Here's a hint. Grimlock and company haven't been sitting around and relaxing. The time is now, the place is Cybertron. The recipe is action. So yes, our first of that will be in May. And this is going to be tying in to Prime Beast Hunters. And it's going to be... The other thing I don't know about is this little thing that they're putting in there called subscription cover available. So I don't know if this is going to be like, if you get a subscription, you can get this cover. I'm not quite sure. I will get more details on that and have it in a future news section. So keep your ear to the internet or follow me on Twitter. We'll also be getting Rage of the Dinobots trade paperback that month. And we'll be getting trade paperback volume 2 for Regeneration 1, which leads me into the last reveal in the May solicits, is Regeneration 1, issue number 91. And things fall apart. The very fabric of the Transformers universe begins to unravel as huge and ancient cosmic forces take note of Cybertron's and the Cybertronians' descent into chaos and anarchy. As Hot Rod struggles to hold things together, still reeling from his own game-changing wake-up call, competing destructive forces inch closer to a cataclysmic confrontation. The end begins here. And we have a cover, which I'm going to say is by Guido Guidi, which I'm loving that one. I really like the symmetry of what's going on with this. So definitely looking forward to reading, or at least getting that issue, because I really like that cover, because it's really pretty. So, and that pretty much is it for this week's news. Thank you for joining me. This is Amy, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, so, Rage of the Dinobots 4.
Yeah.
We had an interesting time talking about 3.
Yeah, sadly, there's really nothing bad enough in this issue to be that interesting to talk about. It's, it's a little bit more solid, I think, than the last one. The art's still kind of wobbly in places, but not ever really horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the whole thing was a setup to, well, we knew it was a setup to lead directly into the Beast Hunters series, but we didn't realize that it was a setup to lead into the Beast Hunters comic prior to this, I don't think. And a fair amount of this issue, just like the first issue, kind of serves as a recap of Fall of Cybertron for those who may not have played the game or may not have realized that it ties into Transformers Prime, sort of.
So what about this issue?
Well, like I said, that's part of this issue. It does the recap, and other than that, we wind up the whole thing. And of course, considering Shockwave is still around in Prime, nothing conclusive is going to happen with that. And Ultra Magnus leaves the planet. The Dinobots stick around to do something and star in their own monthly series.
So what happened in this comic?
Yeah. Another prison break. Yeah, another prison break.
Well, that sure was, that sure was.
Mm-hmm. And also,
you had so much more to say about issue 3.
Yeah, well, like I said, there's something there was something about issue 3 that really needed addressed desperately. There's nothing that really needs addressed desperately here. There's, decent-ish art. We get to see Grimlock's face under the mask and the visor. We get one kind of cute line in the mock argument between Slug and Ultra Magnus, and that's about it.
What a dull ending to a miniseries.
From the writers of Transformers Prime.
Well, how was the art this time around? That was kind of your big thing last time.
Well, like I said, it's a lot more followable. I don't know what it is about trying to do a fight involving about 6 people that makes it easier than a fight involving 2.
Maybe
think that would be...
Maybe it's because with so many people involved, you are forced to pull back away from the action more.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because yeah, like I said, I did not have any point. There was no point at this issue where I had to have the dialogue tell me what was actually happening. It was even pretty obvious that the EMP grenade Shockwave was about to use was an EMP grenade without being told.
Mm-hmm.
That part worked out pretty well. I'm kind of hoping it's an issue where he's just kind of getting the artist is just kind of getting the knack of the monthly schedule, because I'm not sure this particular artist has ever done a monthly book before. So with most artists there's a learning curve, and if you keep reading constantly, you will watch a gradual improvement and or change of style, hopefully both. And I'm hoping that's what we're going to see here, because it looks like we're going to be getting the same team working on Beast Hunters in a couple of months.
Which, of course, at that point, let's just hope that the artist has not forgotten how to cope with a monthly title in the little bit of time between monthly titles.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that he filled the space in between with Spotlight Hoist and has just kind of just been on an even keel from there.
Well, we can but hope.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when I read the issue, I didn't really find much to take away from it either. 'Cause like you say, there's only so much they can do because the status quo is established far, far down the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dinobots staying behind to star in their own book in a couple months also kind of shoots in the foot anything that could really happen in this issue. So a lot of it is mostly just pointless space filling. Yeah.
I mean, the actual scenes we moved from scene to scene, I think, a little quicker than we did in the last one, because we weren't, taking up the middle of our book with a incomprehensible one-on-one fight. But yeah, the end result is that they did at least rescue Ultra Magnus. He gets off the planet, and they rescued an awful lot of other Autobots that I am absolutely confident we will never hear from again, even in the course of the monthly book.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to stick around on Cybertron to have wacky adventures and fight Shockwave.
Yeah.
Actually, probably just fight Shockwave. I could go for some wacky adventures, but I'm not seeing it.
Well, I'll probably better do that on Cybertron than in the Savage Land.
Yeah.
Slightly more believable.
A little bit.
And, doesn't screw with the Marvel continuity near as much.